Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Every Day is Friday 365. I'm your host, Matthew, and remember to subscribe so you can join me on this journey where every day is Friday. Today, we got a really special guest joining us, Clark Bartram. He is a true icon in the fitness world, a National Fitness Hall of Famer, and has appeared on over 130 fitness magazine covers. Clark, welcome to the podcast, man.
Brother, I love the title of your show, Every Day is Friday. You know what? It's funny because my wife and I joke all the time. She's like, you know what day it is, right? I said, Friday. Fridays come so fast, especially when you get to be 62 years old, man. Time just starts flying. But Friday's a great day, right? Everyone's excited for the weekend. Everyone worked real hard during the week, and you're over here doing your thing. So thank you for having me, brother. I
If you're
appreciate it.
part of this community, every day is Friday.
There you go.
How's life been treating you lately, and how are you finding meaning and purpose today in your life?
Life is great. I take it one day at a time, and meaning and purpose is a daily thing. So depending on the situation I find myself in, that's the meaning and the purpose for that day. Whatever I come up against or whoever I meet or whatever opportunity I have to speak in somebody's life, it is just a blessing to me. And I look for those opportunities. I seek those things in my life. I don't want to just sit back and just kind of let a day go by, whether it's Friday or Friday. In your case, it's important for me to make the most out of every single day. And I know that sounds cliche, it sounds a little bit corny, but it's the absolute truth. Just the example is I just literally got off a call. I taught a master class teaching how to boost testosterone naturally. I had probably 160 something year old men on there, all really interested in learning from me. And I really count that a privilege, in all honesty. So that is a specific example of what I did today. In addition to my workouts and being here for my family and messaging a few people throughout the day, calling my best friend back in Ohio, having a great conversation. So it's all very segmented, but it's all very purposeful and intentional.
Now, for the listeners, Clark, that may not know may not be familiar with your line of work yet, can you give us a quick rundown of who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Clark Bartram. I'm a 62-year-old fitness guy, and I say fitness guy. I've been in the industry forever. You had mentioned that I've been on a few magazine covers over the years. I'm still at the age of 62. I might have one laying around here somewhere, still getting on magazine covers. But what that has given me the opportunity to do is coach men over 40 who are very successful in business. They have all of the things in life except for the body because they've put themselves on the back burner. So specifically, that's what I do right now. And I also coach a professional arena football team. And everything I do revolves around some sort of physical prowess because at the age of 62, I'm a bit of an anomaly or unicorn, if you will. I don't look like, and I'm not saying I'm better and someone's worse. Please don't misunderstand what I'm about to say, but I don't look like the average 62-year-old guy. So I take that and I use that to my advantage. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, to whom much is given, much is required. The comic books copy that. It says, with great power comes great responsibility. It's really interesting that when you get to be my age, you start to separate yourself from the masses if you're in shape. And with that comes a great responsibility, in my opinion. So I use that to encourage and motivate men to stay in shape, whether these 60-year-old guys that I am helping boost their T levels naturally, or these professional athletes that are playing arena football, that they can see that coach has still got it. Coach can still run a route, throw a football, and pose down with them. And that's encouraging to these young men. So I want to take the gift that I have and use it to inspire and encourage people.
I was watching your Instagram earlier today, and one of your reels you made, you're walking the beach with your son, and you're saying like you can tell like someone that's out of shape or not at what age they are. Can you unpack that for me?
Yeah, well, it's really interesting. As my son walked the beach and we have a football, he plays quarterback on this team. So we've thrown easily a million passes together throughout his life. And when we're on the beach, it is without fail that I'm approached by multiple people, and mostly around his age group or younger, college kids, asking me, how old are you and what do you do? And the unfortunate reality is a lot of these guys are out of shape already. A lot of these guys aren't where they should be or could be, and it's very easy to see in most people, right? As you're walking, you're looking at a young father with a young son, and he's already kind of hit a place in his life where he can't do what I'm doing with my son, or doesn't have the energy or stamina or desire to do those things. So I have footballs that have my brand on it, CBX, Clark Bartram Systems, and Maximize Man Elite. That's my coaching program. So I give that football to this kid, and the kid eventually takes it back to the dad, and the dad has this idea like, who was that buff old guy that gave my son a ball? And he looks at it, and ultimately he gets to my website and sees what I do. So there's like intention, like I said, in everything I do. There's a purpose for me walking down the beach with my son, other than having great memories being made with my son. I know that people are sitting there wishing they could look and feel better. I just know this because I have conversations with them when they do finally reach out to me.
And I believe that a lot of athletes at one point were great athletes, and then throughout their life they get out of shape, and then they're like, "Oh, at one point I was a starting quarterback, and this and this and this and this," and they're like, and then they go to you, and they're probably like, I'm out of shape, and I want to throw with my son. Like you being a top 1%er has to be something like they want to go to you to actually learn something about like how can I do this, like do that again, because people get out of shape really easily.
I hear that all the time. I was an athlete and then I start them on a program. They want to jump into the deep end of the pool because the memory of that athlete is still there. But the reality of that athlete was 20, 30 years ago. But I can slowly help them get back there. And it all starts with the belief. I teach these guys 5 things in my program. They're my 5 lifestyle principles. They're mindset, meals, movement, community, and integrity. This little right here is a placard of those principles, and that's what everything that I teach these guys revolve around. You got to get your mindset right. And then once you get your mindset that I'm going to do this no matter what, you get your meals right, you get your movement back, whatever level your movement is currently at. It could be at a snail's pace to begin with. You get in a supportive community, and then you live your life with integrity. And integrity is kind of a twofold kind of a thing. If I'm asking you, how did you do on your program yesterday, Matthew, and you lie to me, that's not integrity. I can't help you. And then if you're just in life doing stuff that you shouldn't know that isn't right for you, that eventually weighs on you and it manifests somehow, some way. Stress, cortisol, all of these things, no sleep, that lead to somebody being out of shape. So those principles are a way for me to manage guys and ask them very blatantly, like, hey, how are you doing in these 5 areas? On a scale of 1 to 10, give me a number. If you're at a 7 or above, we're golden. If you're below a 7, we're going to figure it out.
Clark, I got to ask you, why do so many men over 40 lose energy and motivation?
They prioritize their families, and I get it. I respect it. They're going after the American dream. I did it. I didn't get out of shape, but I'm possibly even doing it right now. I have a goal to do something financially, so I found myself slacking off from time to time in a workout because, again, I'm no better and no one is any worse. I'm a regular person too. I've just developed some lifestyle habits that are fortunate that I do them regardless. But when a guy prioritizes and puts his family first and puts himself on the back burner and doesn't get to the gym, eats fast food, doesn't hang out with supportive community, and all of the things that I have mentioned that these 5 lifestyle principles are, eventually it comes to bite him in the ass. It's just the way it is. Your body is fighting to get out of shape more than it's fighting to get into shape. If you're not doing anything, you're getting out of shape. Period. End of story. No questions asked. You're not treading water. You're not staying the same. So understand that guys are peaking at 30 now. I've talked to kids of like, yeah, I peaked in high school. I peaked at 30. I don't even feel like I've peaked yet.
Wow, that's amazing to hear that.
Yeah.
I mean, small wins. That's what I go for. I mean, the small habits usually create big, results over time. What are like the top 3 habits every man over like 40 should focus on first?
One, prioritizing himself, like scheduling a time to get to the gym, making sure that he has food ready and available for him to eat. regardless of where he's at in the world. I deal with a lot of very successful businessmen who travel the world. And I say, well, you're going to be traveling the world. Let's make sure that you're prepared when you get to a hotel with a gym and with all of the things that you need to win, to have that win. So so you got, understanding that this is your life and taking control, making sure you're prepared, and then not stressing out over everything, man. Just being happy, enjoying your life, not being so serious about everything.
You were an actor at one point, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself an actor. I've been in some movies,
The
not
movie
even,
Batman, correct?
well, it wasn't the actual movie. It was just a short film, 8-minute little short film that I did. I mean, it kind of blew up, and it did, to the point where people are sending me Batman dolls that they've made of me, and there's pictures all above my walls here. So it was cool. I mean, it was definitely cool. And then I did another feature film called Hunter Prey, where I had the lead role in it. So I've acted, but I'm not an actor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to ask you though, I mean, how did your fitness go to a passion into like a life's mission?
There's two answers that I have to that. The first one is I believe I was born to do what I do. There's no question based upon what I just finished having the call with these men. If you were to able to watch what I was doing there, I don't think anyone will argue the fact that I was put on this earth to do what I do. Then the other answer is the business answer, that there is a need for guys like me in this world because, again, I'm a bit of a unicorn, an anomaly, if you will, where guys like me at the age of 60, I mean, there's certainly more out there. I'm not the only one, but we're rare breeds. We're in rarefied air out there. And these other guys that are fit like I am at this age, they don't do coaching. They have regular jobs, but they're just fit guys that have dedicated their life to being consistent. I elected to use my gifts and abilities and my purpose to create a coaching program. And I love what I do. It's the old cliche saying of I wake up every single day and I never go to work. I never go to work. Literally. I mean, what I just did was not work. It was absolute fun. I wasn't stressing out about it. I didn't get nervous. I wasn't overwhelmed. It was a joy for me to do it. So leaning into the fact that I know this is what God created me for is amazing.
You know, that level of success is hard for most people to like imagine. What was it like, seeing yourself on over like 130 magazine covers?
It's really cool, honestly, especially back in the days when you would go into a grocery store and there's the magazine rack and you're scanning it because you know you're coming out this month and boom, there it is. So I would walk in there and I would grab it and kind of let people see, or maybe go to the cashier and hopefully they noticed that it was me. And if I was with my mom, she would definitely make sure that they noticed and people would brag about it. And, it's pretty funny though, because after a while, people get used to it. My wife just now came to me and said, honey, I'm sorry I didn't encourage you before you went and did what you were going to do right now because I'm just so used to it. You do it all the time. It's normal for you. So being on covers of magazines kind of became the norm. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. But this most recent one, it kind of blows my mind because I'll give you a little bit of perspective here. The first cover I was ever on was in 1989. So you can imagine a young 20-something-year-old guy in 1989 projecting to the year 2026. So if you do the math there, what is that for you? However many years later, what would that number be? You can't even fathom what life would be like that far down the road. Me thinking at 20 something what I would be like at 62, and then understanding that I would still be getting on magazine covers that many years later, when that year didn't even register in my mind. It was like the Jetsons. It was this far out 2026. What the hell? That's like you saying 2090, you know? It's crazy.
Now, did your fame in the fitness world affect you personally?
There's probably a while where you get a little bit self-centered, conceited, a little bigger than you should, and Maybe I'm that way now. Who knows? I really don't know what people's perspective of me is. All I know is I feel very fortunate to do what I do. And I always like to say, I'm no better, you're no worse. I don't think I'm special. It's just what I do. It's what I do because this is what I've been given. I look a certain way. I have a certain genetic predisposition. I've developed a disciplined lifestyle, and it's resulted in a guy that people want to take a picture of and put on the cover of a magazine.
Yeah, you have
It's
a mental toughness around you. How did you build that over the years?
so I was a Marine, and the Marine Corps is really what established that in me. And then being around mentors and people that have succeeded in life way more than I could ever imagine in many different areas, whether it was their marriage or a spiritual thing or business, financially, assets, things, cars, whatever. I've always tried to be around people who have done things the hard way and earned things and worked for things and learned from them. I still have mentors in my life today that are watching me kind of come into a place where I'm starting to achieve some of those things that I've worked for many, many years to do. And they're so proud of me, and they're like, Clark, man, there's no one I would rather see succeed than you because I've watched you all the years. Just, I don't like to use the word grind because that seems so gross, but be consistent and put in the work and do the things to get you to where you're at today. So it brings me joy to have the people that I look to now look back at me and go, bro, I'm really proud of you and what you've done. I would rather be doing what you're doing than what I'm doing.
You know, that consistency does not come just doesn't happen by accident. Uh, what does discipline mean to you?
Discipline is just doing things consistently that other people aren't willing to do. And I learned that in the Marine Corps. You know, when you're forced to do stuff that when you're done doing the things that you don't want to do end up making you a better version of yourself, and you can step back and see that that was what it was all meant for, then you can take that and apply it to every area of your life and go, okay, I'm going to do the things that I don't necessarily want to do because I know ultimately down the line at some point, who knows when, it's going to pay off for me. That's why I've been married to the same woman for 26 years. It's not always easy, but you know, you discipline yourself to do the things that you don't want to do to get the result that you hope for.
I gotta ask you because you are an author as well. What is the backstory about your book? Where your mind goes, you go.
Yeah. So the backstory on that is I was coming home one day from Tampa, Florida. I was on Home Shopping Network. Did extremely well, made a bunch of money. I'm on the airplane. I'm watching Million Dollar Baby, minding my own business. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I had what I now know was a panic attack. When it was happening, I had no idea what it was. I thought I was dying. I thought I was going crazy. I was going to jump out of the airplane. I was stuck in the Atlanta airport, wasn't going to get on another plane. Called my wife. I said, I need you to pray for me. I don't know what's going on. Something crazy is happening in my life. And luckily I got home. And when I got here, I found out that I was experiencing panic attack. And I dove in to the mind part of it because I realized I didn't want to get on drugs. I didn't want to. And that if anyone's on any sort of medication for panic attacks, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it wasn't for me. So I started to dive into the mind. I got courses, I read books, I went to counseling, and I realized that if my mind got me into it, my mind could get me out of it. So one day I was watching TV and there was a lady preacher on there by the name of Joyce Meyer. And she said, where the mind goes, the man follows. And in my spirit, I heard, that's the title of your book. And I'm like, I'm not writing a book. And it was like me having a conversation with God. Yes, you are. That's the title of your book. Right hand to God. I got up off the couch. I went to my computer, and I'm not a good typer, but I just started pecking away and did not leave that computer, figuratively speaking, until that book came out of my soul. Because all of what I had poured in had to come out. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, for out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. All of that information that I was learning was in there, and it came out in the book called Where Your Mind Goes, You Go. And it became a bestseller. It's a great book. I have a volume 2 of it that I don't like as much as volume 1 because the publisher that I ended up getting kind of forced me to write a volume 2, so it wasn't as pure and like just from the soul as the first version was, out of that dark place that I was in.
I mean, the mind is so powerful.
It's crazy.
What's one habit that helps you stay focused?
Just waking up with gratitude. I have a personal mission statement, and I did this years ago. I met with a marketing guy, and we came up with the tagline for me, America's most trusted fitness professional. And then he also said, you need a mission statement, a purpose statement, a vision statement for your brand that we're building right now. And he said, I need you to think about that, what that is. And it was to positively and powerfully affect everyone I come into contact with. So that is, I recite that in the morning when I wake up. So that way, when I go on about my day, that's the North Star for me. That's the driving factor that keeps me happy and purposeful and intentional with anyone I encounter throughout the day.
I want to dive into the health aspect of it again. I mean, being healthy at 25 is different than being healthy at 62. What's one of the biggest mistakes like men over 40 are making with their health?
Not prioritizing themselves, like putting everybody else first. And I know that sounds kind of, I guess, backwards, but it isn't. There's a point of diminishing returns when a man is working, 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 doing all of the things that we're required to do as men and as we should be. But if it is making you a less effective version of yourself because you're getting fat, out of shape, losing confidence and energy and enthusiasm for life, then you have to stop and you have to prioritize yourself. That's really the smart move. The smart move isn't like I grind, I support, I get it. I get that whole attitude, but it's dumb when you start not performing to the level at which you know you could perform if you were at your best.
Clark, I got to ask you, with all your years of experience, why do men ignore their health until something goes wrong?
Because they're men. They're just men, right? This is what we do. I don't want to go to the doctor. It's better if I don't know. I don't have insurance. I don't like needles. No one's sticking their finger up my ass. I've heard so many different things from guys, and it's like, come on, bro. Like, just be smart. Go to your doctor, get your blood work done, get a physical, know everything's okay, and then move on with your life. It takes 7 minutes. It's
Now,
not.
I have a lot of listeners on this show right now. I want you to dive into this for me. How important is movement as we age?
It's vital. If move it or lose it, as the old saying goes. We get stiff, we get fat, we get unable to move, our knees start to ache, our ability to absorb a fall or a hit becomes lessened, our bones get brittle and weak, our muscles start to atrophy, our hair starts to fall out. All of these things are due to a lack of movement. Clark, your hair don't fall out due to a lack of movement. I would say partially it does, because if you're not moving, your hormones get out of whack. And that's why people's hairs fall out, because their hormones are out of whack. DHT goes up, blah, 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 all of this sort of stuff. Maybe, I'm not saying that that's the thing. Don't get hung up on that. But what I'm saying is movement is vital for every single function of our body. We were meant to move. Uh, you look at a kid, what is the number one thing that a parent or an adult will say when they see little kids playing? Oh, little Johnny and Sally are running all over the place. They're going to sleep good tonight. This is a part of how we were created at birth. We don't need to be told to run around and play. We crawl, we walk, we fall, we run, but then we stop. You don't stop playing because you get old. You get old because you stop playing.
So many men I know, I don't understand why they rush into TRT. can you dive into this for me? And is there like three simple things you can say that you can fix it naturally?
They rush into TRT because they're convinced that every man after the age of 30 is going to go down by 1%. It's not your age. It's the lifestyle factors that you're not doing that are the key factors in your testosterone going down. The main one is stress. So the best thing you can do is manage your stress. The next one is body weight. The best thing you can do is lose some weight. The next one is what you're eating. The best thing you can do is eat right. So that goes back to the weight and that goes back to the stress. That's connected to the cortisol. There's no single line to success in any of this because it wasn't a single line age that got you to start dropping your testosterone. But the world that we live in is suggesting that that's the key indicator. And it's not. It's not at all. I know guys 60, 70, 80 with testosterone naturally that are up 5, 6, 700. So that has little to do with it, not everything to do with it. But the world that we live in is led everyone to believe that after 30, every swinging out there is going to have an issue. So you know what we've done in this world? We've taken the bar and we've lowered it.
I have to ask you this because I want you to dive into it for me because I'm trying to understand it too. What is the 6.0 version of yourself? What is that?
6.0 version of me was a decision to not be the same as the 59 years before. And that all started with mindset. And that came after a prostate cancer diagnosis. When at the age of 59, I thought I was going to come into 60, the most ripped guy ever, blah, blah, doing me. Let's go, Clark Bartram. But I heard we found cancer. So that turned into Clark Bartram version 6.0. And it is, okay, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to live my life with this new situation that I found myself in? Am I going to act like a lot of people that I see? Am I going to talk like a lot of people talk? Am I going to conduct myself in a way like, oh, woe is me, I got this? No. Version 6.0 is a guy that's going to take this and go with it and do something with it. So I shifted my energy. I was always a positive guy, but I shifted my energy to the point of if you're not providing value in my life, then I don't need you in my life. You know, I know you, I like you, I love you maybe, but if you're not adding value to me, you can keep it moving. There's a saying that says people are in your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And a lot of the people aren't lifetime people, and I'm fine with that. It was cool knowing you, but I'm done with you. You're not serving a purpose in my life. Doesn't make me better and you worse. It just makes you not valuable to me anymore. So go about your life. You don't care. You're going to live. You don't need me either. So I'm willing to do that with anyone. It doesn't matter to me because I want to live my life. I want to be happy. I know who I am. I know the value I provide, and I know what I want to do for people. And if you don't see that and treat me back the same way, then you can fuck off.
You know, I've always told people like it only takes 20 minutes, 20 minutes a day to improve their health. What would you tell someone? What would you describe? What would you tell them to do for those 20 minutes? You could tell them to do something.
First of all, just be grateful that you have legs and arms that move and work if you do. And if you don't, if you're wheelchair bound, whatever faculties and things that you have that you can work with, that's your reality. Be grateful, be happy that you can do something because there are a lot of great wheelchair athletes. A lot of great things can happen. But what I'm trying to say overall is be grateful that you can do something to improve the way you currently are. So whatever that looks like to you, it could be walking around the block in the sun. It could be taking a hike. It could be going to the gym. It could be dancing. It could be playing music at a club somewhere and spinning records for people. Whatever brings you joy and happiness, then do it because dancing around, movement is really what exercise is. Exercise is purely movement. If you're moving your body in ways that you enjoy and you're challenging yourself during that time, your body will adapt and get stronger.
And for anyone that's listening out there, it's all about the journey, not the destination, but the personal development throughout the journey. So understand you're in that gratitude state when you're going along in that journey, that pathway, going towards whatever you're going towards, if it's health or wealth or just fitness.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just It really comes down to taking control. A lot of people live life accidentally and not intentionally. They let life happen to them instead of taking control of their life. I'm very intentional about everything that I do. I'm very intentional about my conversations. I'm intentional about who I'm with, what I'm doing next. So if we approach our life that way, it's a lot easier to manage and not just things happening to you.
Can you tell me a little bit about your football league?
So it's an arena football league, AF1. It's the original arena team where Kurt Warner played in it and all of that. We have a new team here in Oceanside called the Oceanside Bombers, and my son's on it. He's one of the quarterbacks. I'm a coach. We had just played our fourth game. We're 1-4. We're struggling a little bit with being a new team in the league, but we have great athletes, great men that are all living their dream of playing professional football. And if you've never seen an arena football game before, I'm telling you, it's half the field and twice the fun. It's a blast because all of the energy is contained inside of a building. The players come into the stands, balls fly into the stands. It's insane. It's so much fun. It's fast paced. It's high scoring. It is just energy in a bottle. And it's the greatest fun that a family could have together because it's clean, wholesome entertainment. You get to come down and meet the players. If a ball flies in the stands, you get to keep it. It's a completely different experience than traditional American football. So it's a blast. You can watch the Bombers online. If you go to Oceanside Bombers football live stream, we air on Vice TV as well. We have our next game. We have a bye week this week, and then we go to Nashville for another away game. Then we have a bye week, and then we're home again. And we play at Front Wave Arena in Oceanside, California.
Wow, that's amazing. And as you know, the show is called Every Day is Friday, and Friday is a special energy. But I want to hear from you. What does Every Day is Friday mean to you?
Every day is literally Saturday for me because it's the weekend, and I'm in a position in my life where I can pretty much do anything I want. So I approach it like every day is Saturday or every day is Friday. It's the energy which you just described that people strive for. They want to get through the week of work and they want to have the freedom to do what they want. And that's really what I'm talking about. When you're healthy, when you're fit, when you've been consistent in all of the areas of your life that allow you the freedom to live life like every day is Friday, then that's where the joy is. But the reality is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're all the same. They're all the same. We've just have put this energy on a day that we think is going to bring something different. It's not Friday that brings the joy. It's the energy in you that brings the joy. So bring that energy to every day, and every day is Friday.
Bring that energy into your everyday life, and every day is Friday. This is your chance to leave the listeners with something powerful. Is there anything else you want to share?
I think I just did. That statement was friggin'. We could have just ended it right there.
All your information will be in the description down below, but where can the people follow and support your work?
Just my name, Clark Bartram on Instagram. TikTok is the real Clark Bartram. I do a lot of stuff there. I have a YouTube channel, Clark Bartram as well. A lot of fitness information, workouts, meals that I cook. I have not a cooking show, but I do a lot of cooking. That's on YouTube and my Instagram. So yeah, come give me a follow, say hi. And I really love to interact with people. I don't consider anyone a fan. We're friends. We're just all humans on this planet trying to learn from each other and grow. And ultimately, that's what I want for everybody.
Thank you so much for sharing your stories and experiences. I really do appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on, Matthew. You're a fine young man, and keep doing what you're doing because I can tell you're in it for all the right reasons, bud.
I appreciate it. And for the listeners out there, if you enjoyed this, make sure you follow, share, and keep that every day is Friday mindset going. Stay inspired and make every day feel like Friday. Until next time, everybody.